programming away per day. All right, know-it-all.
I want it all, and I want it now.
Know-it-all. First thing,
Thing one, nasty 4-fatality accident in Renton yesterday. I didn't see, was it speed or what was the deal? Let's go to our Renton correspondent.
I just saw the headlines yesterday and was very concerned because this occurred in my nape of the way. A terrible tragedy. Yeah, 4 killed, more critically injured.
In all the B-roll I saw, one car was on its side. It appeared to have rolled a time or two. So
speed did play a factor in the collision, it appears.
So
I always have this premonition when I'm driving that I'm going to get T-boned when I'm in the middle of an intersection. I'm not sure that's what happened here, but it strikes me just how easily that could happen. Just one person missing a red light. So whenever I approach an intersection and it's like that stale green that's been up there for like 2 minutes and I can see it from a ways away, I always kind of, I don't know if it's wise, but I slow down when I hit the intersection a little bit and look left, look right, look left, look right.
And I mean, it's sort of such a reflex for me. I mean, my super secret shortcut to I-5, I go through this one federal facility, and there's nobody on the road. I'm it. I'm through the gate at 3:15, and then I go to this long intersection, and you can see a mile left and right. I triggered the green light before I get to the intersection, but I still slow down and look left and right because somebody might be driving with their headlights off. That's a great fear. And you know what happened to me this morning? Not that I want to tie it up to a 4-fatality accident in Renton, but just north of Boeing Field, there's a bunch of work they're doing. They're reducing I-5 northbound at Boeing Field. I think they take it down like at 5 a.m. or something. So just past there, you know the orange traffic barrels, those big orange hollow barrels? Mm-hmm. One of them was crushed in the middle of the road. And I saw, because I was inappropriately driving with my high beams on because I'm a smarty pants. I saw it ahead of me, and it looked like a body. So I slowed down and changed lanes, and there was a big crushed orange barrel in the middle of lane 3. So how about that, folks, the anecdote? All right, thing 2.
Second thing,
the Major League Baseball season started this morning in Seoul, Korea, with the Doyers beating the San Diego Padres 5-2. Here's the sample.
8:51, nearly 9 p.m. here in Seoul, South Korea. Time difference on the West Coast and East Coast. Hope everybody is now up and enjoying this game. It's a close one, too.
No, he said that at 4 a.m. West Coast time. So anyway, that was that. The game was delayed for a bomb threat that somebody emailed to the Korean consulate in Vancouver, BC. I'm not accusing you, Greg. I'm just saying that is within listening area. And so it's just odd that from North America, somebody called a bomb threat in. And it was, and Shohei Ohtani was mentioned in it. Not that has anything to do with nothing. But anyway, so that game, I think they're going to replay it or whatever. It was the ninth inning was good. I'll tell you that. Thing 3.
Third
thing, if you're going to have your voice changed on Q13, be sure to tell them, use the Battlestar Galactica circa 1976 Cylon voice.
Parents like Shane Colgrove, whose children play at the Southwest Recreation Complex.
So the deal was there was a kid killed after school by South High School down there by the Des Moines area, and there's this City of Seattle Park and Rec facility. I think there's a pool and other stuff there, and there weren't the cameras they had up didn't work, didn't capture the violence. They hadn't worked for years. So now suddenly there's new cameras up there.
A new participant in the family pool area and the playground here, but as a parent of young children, I think it's wonderful.
This new camera sits near the entrance where Seattle police say Mubarak Adam was killed. Detectives say he was found inside a bathroom very close to this set of doors. You can see in these before and after pictures, one which I took the day of the shooting, that there was no camera there in January. A person with ties to Parks and Recreation agreed to do an interview with us about the new cameras if we disguised their voice.
All of that would be completely new, which rightfully so. They should be installing new cameras.
I can't catch a word they're saying.
Yeah, that's really hard to decipher.
That's bad news, Q13. Between making stuff up and then using a bad voice. I mean, I don't know, by the way, in Adobe Audition or Odyssey. I don't know. There's a couple different voice changer voices.
Sounds like an MCU villain or something.
I know. Like I say, if you see the old reruns of the mid-'70s Battlestar Galactica, the enemy were Cylons, which were these chrome robots. And this is how they sounded.
There was no camera there in January. A person with ties to Parks and Recreation agreed to do an interview with us about the new cameras if we disguised their voice.
All of that would be completely new. Which rightfully so. They should be installing new cameras.
Well, anyway, Achievement Unlocked employee of Parks and Rec that didn't want to be identified. They're never going to trace you back now.
Colonial fiber squadrons approaching in large numbers.
See? Am I right or am I right?
Still engaged against the Galactica. The warriors continue.
I was so into that show in junior high. That was right after Star Wars. It was obviously, TV Hollywood trying to glom onto some spacey thing. And see,
apparently it was not as big a surprise as we had hoped for.
You had I forgot the actor's name, but he used to be the head of the family in Bonanza. That actor, he was Admiral, what's his name? But he was really good. But that's what there you go. There's the Cylons. Apparently, Seattle Parks and Rec have a full Cylon employment program.
Which rightfully so. They should be installing new cameras.
They're gainfully employed. They're not trying to end us as a race, as a people. So anyway, third thing already.
Fourth thing.
Oh, fourth thing. You promised me that this is really good. Who is Johnathan Haidt?
He's a social psychologist, a cultural critic, and he was on the Joe Rogan podcast. I think it comes from the tradition of Neil Postman. He's very prophetic.
The hell's that?
Neil Postman was a New York University professor.
Not Kevin Costner as the Postman.
No.
Not a bad movie, by the way.
No tangents, Brian.
All right. So if you like Joe Rogan so much, why don't you go marry him?
AI could unlock extraordinary material.
So the stink here is that Google is trying to launch their own AI.
The rollout was a disaster.
Yeah, there's a Cold War going on between ChatGPT and Bookface and everything. Everyone wants their own AI because the first company that gets it is going to have a license to print money.
Progress. But as a social scientist, I fear it's going to give us material progress and sociological chaos. It's going to be used in ways that make our already unstable social structures and systems even less stable.
Well, what's very bizarre that we're seeing with the initial implementation of it, specifically with Google's version of it, is that it's ideologically captured.
Oh, that was so horrible. And that was so irresponsible of Google to do. I'm really horrified by what Google did in introducing Gemini. And just to give a little background here, Google Gemini was programmed to answer in ways that basically, the most extreme DEI officer would demand that people speak. And so,
And isn't this what Facebook got nailed for?
In their own way, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, I mean, when you have people that buy and believe in DEI and all that's what you get.
So if you ask for a picture of the founding fathers, they're multiracial or all black. This is just
Nazi soldiers.
Even Nazis had to be multiracial or black. So there's two things to say about this. The first is that...
Well, two things. All right, very interesting. Thing one. Thing two, it's reinforcement why I don't listen to Joe Rogan, because I don't have all day.
You don't have 4 hours to...
No, but if you have 15 minutes, you're going to want to go to the KTTH app and subscribe to the 10th break, because I make it a point of getting many, many thoughts in a brief amount of time. The 10th break is up and running. Put it up last night, and it after Millie's testimony, then the disastrous diplomatic developments in Niger, stuff that doesn't make it on the radio because, frankly, you'd be bored. But don't worry, I don't talk like this, and I don't get ripped and stoned. I just talk at a normal pace, a little faster than this. I don't change my voice into a Cylon. So go to the app and download that. The 10th break is what we call it because we do 3 breaks an hour.